Gentlemen, let me take you inside the mind of a woman who's fast approaching the wall and becoming more anxious by the minute at her future relationship prospects. But I should warn you, what you hear may entice your inner compassionate masculine being, and you may want to become the knight in shining armor at the expense of your own well-being. So pay heed to what I say without letting go of yourself and your imperatives in life as a man. There are women in the world, and an ever-increasing number of them, that are hit with a bout of depression when they realize they're on a gradual downward slope in life that leads to nowhere. This downward slide is the plane of her attractiveness. It is the well of her self-esteem that is now running dry. Older women in their 30s and 40s have an epiphany in their later years that they just spent their most youthful, attractive, and fertile years in the pursuit of ultimately pointless goals. Of driving up their notch count, of trying to live in the fantasized notion of some career, or in some idealistic world where everybody has a lovey-dovey rom-com Hollywood relationship, and nobody deserves to settle for anything less. The dozens of serious guys that come along during this time were passed up for the sake of one of these three cherished ideas. But she never realized for fleeing these goals were. All the pleasure derived would be as ephemeral and escaping as anything, and she never made the time to think about her life across its entire span. This realization is enough to send someone into a state of anxiety and a sense of urgency to set things right. And that's the reason why older women who should have settled down in their younger years can still be found on dating and hookup apps as you swipe through the beautiful young girls one after another. It is the desire to relive something she used to have. It's a wish to garner the same kind of attention that she used to, but has not been taken over by the newer lot of young girls. Admit it or not, a woman's sexual appeal comes from her youth and fertility. And no amount of social conditioning and biological gerrymandering can change that. On the other end, you have men in their 30s who have toiled and worked on themselves for more than a decade. The hard 10 years of their 20s where they had to build up their value from scratch. They're now facing with the prospect of having a choice, which they never had before being rejected from girls in their prime left and right. They finally get to have the privilege of choosing who they want to date, instead of picking up whatever scrap is thrown at their feet. And especially with the last 10 years and the rising of the online manosphere, more men are walking and realizing they've been sold an expensive bargain. They've been given the worst of both worlds, and women are enjoying the best of both worlds. And this phenomenon is exacerbating the problems for older women looking for a man who's a safe bet. I remember seeing a fact that I thought related perfectly to the manosphere and the red pill we're trying to spread. A vast majority of women on dates aren't even looking for a guy for a serious long-term committed relationship. Most are there for the free food. A great bunch of them just enjoy and bask in the attention of beta males. And when they grow older, saggier, and drier, they find themselves slowly phased out and replaced by younger, tighter women. This is when the panic starts to set in. Dating apps are the oyster of older women. They're a reservoir of eternal validation and simps that shower them with praise and even money. It is their virtual fountain of youth. It makes perfect sense to me why they would cherish these dating apps and stay on it despite the hookup culture they promoted and capitalized on. More and more men in the modest world are becoming accustomed to living without exclusive commitment to a woman. These partitioning and fractioning of the genders is ultimately making women lose something they innate and evolutionarily need, and that is male resource and commitment. So they are back on the dating market, trying to relive the good old days, returning to the dating market in hopes they would get swooped up by a blue pill chat that falls in love with her like a Hollywood romance. But no, the world has swung too far the other way. And we're now seeing a rebound. People are slowly but surely realizing that the world and social order we abandoned actually had a great degree of utility in it. It was old-fashioned, but old-fashioned in the best sense. It is because they survived and helped us live and thrive for the longest time throughout human history. Women now yearn for the kind of stability that family system provided. But the problem is that This realization comes in little too late in life, after the social conditioning of promiscuity has already got to them, and they have spent their prime years riding the CC. What a tragedy! I believe that any man with the knowledge of how this path in life ultimately ends up for women has a grave responsibility to raise daughters that are opposite to this and believe the idea of children, marriage, and commitment. This is a culture war, and it will be fought with counterculture. We must work to bring back wholesome ideas of romance and family, and to do away with the degeneracy of the modern liberal world order. It's hard to feel sorry for the modern woman. I say this and people say I'm kind of stone-hearted. But I'm just being pragmatic and reasonable. No one needs to be saved up from something they brought upon themselves. According to a Match.com study, divorced women find it harder by the passing year to date and find possible dating partners. They not only carry the baggage of past relationships, emotionally and sexually, they also bring with them a constant yardstick that they're always measuring you against. No man can live with this kind of constant state of comparison unless he wants to go insane. I say to the modern man, always stay vigilant of the kind of woman you date, even below how happy she makes you, how good she is in bed, or how pretty she looks. Go one layer deeper. How does she view you? Why did she pair up with you and not anyone else? I believe every man in the world deserves a woman who loves him for him, and not just because for what he can provide to her. I see so many men today hitting their stride on their paths to success, and they are with women who I know see them as not much more than a safe bet in their later years. And I think, what a waste of potential. One of the greatest banes to the masculine man of today is how this masculine energy and his work and his competence is being used. The society we have constructed today sucks modern men of their labor and physical strength, but refuses to give them the respect and dignity they deserve. And it's the same with women. They will take advantage of all that you have to offer, and then smirk in the dark of the night looking at their phones, looking at photos of their latest conversations with Chad. This is one of the greatest insults to the modern man of today. To have him be in a relationship with a woman, but not truly be with her in every sense of the world. To not be on her mind when she has the dirty, skanky thoughts at night. What is the point if she can't even see you as the exciting hot guy she wanted to be with all her life? This world and the relationships in it are a complex maze that you cannot navigate on your own. You need guidance from men who've seen it all before you, and that is why I created this channel. To warn you of the bumpy road ahead for the modern man, and to prepare him for the life he will lead across its entire span. So like the video and hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss the wisdom we have to offer to help you make it in life as a huge high-value man. Until next time.